Dangerous. What's the highest in the world?
6.
Right, it's about 0.62 in South Africa. So this is very good. So this is, you know, if I'm working with the government, I'm looking at some of your numbers and I'm saying, you know, this is a very good place to be investing right now. There's a lot of things going on here that are very positive. Okay, what else?
Yeah, the next indicator is gross national product. It's usually in local currency. Here is it's the approximate of $144 billion.
144 billion dollars.
Yes. And the national currency of Kazakhstan is tenge. This is the sign of the national currency. So talking about some another indicators, here we have the current account. This indicator is the sum of balance of trade, which is exports minus imports of goods and services. And it also includes net factor income, which is dividends or interests of country, and the net transfer payments, which is foreign aid. So here we observe the current account deficit, which is minus 118 billion US dollars. Talking about the current account to GDP, this indicator is related to the first one, but it also shows some kind of a level of international competitiveness. So here we also observe relatively deficits.
So this is a very, I'm glad that you brought up current accounts as a percentage of GDP, okay? Because this is something that's frequently misunderstood, especially by politicians, and especially by politicians in the United States. They interpret a current account deficit as money leaving the country. Okay? It's almost like, well, we're giving you this money. That's not the case at all. When you're, like in Kazakhstan, the reason Kazakhstan is running a deficit like that is it is a place where other countries want to invest money. Okay, but that shows up on their current account. So it's not always a bad thing. It can be dangerous if that current account to GDP gets too high. When that starts getting up above 3%, 4%, 5%, Turkey right now it's about 7%. Brazil is probably 7%. That becomes difficult for an economy to support. And what would happen is the currency will be affected, and currency will eventually devalue, all right? Because people start getting worried about the country. But at 3% for an economy like Kazakhstan, which is a relatively immature economy, that is, it's been operating for 30 years, that's a very manageable current account deficit, very manageable. So I look at that and I go, wow, that's pretty good. Another factor that in favor of Kazakhstan. And look at the foreign exchange reserves.
Foreign exchange reserves, this indicator shows us some foreign assets which are held or controlled by the central bank of the country. In our case, it's the national bank. These assets include most gold and specific coins. So by this indicator, we have 29 billion US dollars.
Okay? And that's important. And I think it was Bison who said that when the government runs, you know, if it has a trade surplus, or it has a budget surplus, it takes its money and it puts it in a sovereign wealth fund, right? That probably is included in your foreign exchange reserves. That foreign exchange reserve is very favorable because you have about 20% of GDP, 18% of GDP as foreign exchange reserve. You can use that to purchase imports. You can use that to support the currency. So that adds another element of stability to the economy. So that's a very favorable foreign exchange reserve. So that's good.
And
How much money do you guys need? If I were working with the Asian Development Bank, I'd say, okay, let's invest. I feel confident that if we loaned you money, you could pay us back. What would you like to invest in?
in Kazakhstan,
What?
you mean in Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
We're already working with ADB
There's so many
in
projects.
automobile roads infrastructure.
Okay. Infrastructure.
It's already ongoing
Right.
processes with ADB.
Because that's, remember, it's the transport corridor through Central Asia. So, infrastructure, a very good investment for Kazakhstan. What else would we like to invest in?
Agriculture.
Agriculture, right. It adds to your productivity. What else?
Natural resources.
What?
Natural resources.
Natural resources, yeah. Extraction of natural resources, sure. The last thing is education.
Yeah. The first.
The first thing.
No, the education we invest by our own money. So we don't need your
But if I'm working for the Asian Development Bank, the first thing I would say to you is, all right, let's look at the education sector. Where do you need assistance in the education sector? Because we know that your demographics are going to be better in the future. Let's get that education system and strengthen it now. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
So that's how we would approach something like a country like Kazakhstan. How we would assess the demographics and the economics. But there's one piece that we would still want to look at. It's very important. And what's that? Right. Governance. So, you guys have,
Yeah.
okay,
I
let's
also
look at
wanted
it.
to add some
Yeah, go ahead.
information. I didn't put it on the slide, but just quick information that there is, as almost everyone knows, that there is a doing business indicator
Yeah.
of the World Bank, and the recent research of 2018, according to this indicator, Kazakhstan ranked 28th country. For example, comparing with 2017 year, Kazakhstan was ranked 36. So here we also see
36 to 28.
some, yes.
Wow.
So here we also see some positive results of all the ongoing processes
Yeah.
and development of projects.
Very favorable place, even for, private investment. Kazakhstan is a place where, look at the countries that want to invest in Kazakhstan. This is a very good place to be investing right now, okay? There's a lot of very positive things. Easy to do business, probably governance is relatively good. Corruption, it's always a problem, but ease of doing business, less regulation. It's a very, very favorable place. So if anybody wants to buy stocks in the Kazakh stock market, this is a good time to do it. Take your money out of the U.S. stock market. Put it in the Kazakh stock market. Okay, let's see what's next.